My name is Michelle McLaren, and I welcome you back to the ABCs of Health Insurance. I'm a licensed health insurance broker with my own agency in the state of Texas, Just the Facts Insurance Agency. I'm also a licensed health insurance counselor for the state of Texas. I'm here to help explain the confusion that is health insurance. Insurance is just evil. Let's turn evil into easy with answers. Today's letter is Y. I know there's a lot of Y's in health insurance, but this Y is for youth plans. Health insurance for children and young adults has been a complicated issue in the past. You had to have an adult on the plan to cover a child, even if that adult had other coverage. And kids would get kicked off their parents' plan when they turned 19, unless they stayed in college. But if they got married, they still got kicked off. So the Affordable Care Act changed the rules for all that. Now, there's no age minimum to get a health plan. It just requires you're in the open enrollment period or have a valid special enrollment period. All immunizations and vision care are covered until a child is age 19. It's supposed to have pediatric dental care covered as well, but they kind of left a loophole, so the insurance companies just want you to ensure that the child has dental coverage. Lots of people say yes when it's not true. So if you're concerned about your child's dental, you ought to double check that part. Children in lower income households may be pushed in the Medicaid or CHIPS Children's Health Insurance Program automatically by the marketplace when you're applying for family health insurance. If this happens, the Medicaid department is supposed to follow up with the family, but it's probably best for you to check in with them and see what the progress is. If they do get approved for Medicare and CHIPS, then they're not going to be on your standard major medical plan. If they're not, then they have to give you a declination letter to put them on that marketplace plan. Now here's the really yucky part. The marketplace looks at your annual income estimate for a year to decide who qualifies for what, but Medicaid and Medicare look at your income on a quarterly or sometimes on a monthly basis. This means if you have a varying income, like most sales professionals, or get the occasional bonus or commission check, your child could qualify for Medicaid in some months and not others. So then you go through the process of getting the letter that says they're going to be canceled and put them on your marketplace plan, and oops, next month you don't make as much money so they can go back on Medicaid. Lots of fun for everybody. Back and forth plans, and that can really mess with the deductibles and max out of pocket. So if you can estimate that increased income, talk to Medicaid, keep trying to get reinstated as quickly as possible. It can really help things get smoothed out for the year. There are also concerns out there in the funding for Medicaid. Not everyone who applies gets accepted. If you are denied Medicaid, or you lose those benefits in the middle of the year, that does qualify you for a special enrollment plan on the marketplace. Now, I will say most children are covered if the income level of the household is in the low enough area. It's adults that have a little more trouble with coverage. And the Medicaid expansion helped cover a lot more people, but many states, including Texas, didn't expand Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act. So there's still a pretty good group of people who get left uncovered. The young adults can now stay on their parents' coverage until they're 26. And this is true even if they're not in school or if they get married. So this helps if the kids are in trade programs or starter jobs where they may not be able to afford their own coverage. I'll tell you a funny story. At the beginning of the implication of the Affordable Care Act, you could cover your kids until they were 26, but the part of the rules that said you could cover any child at any age didn't start until 2014. So I had a couple I was helping once, and they were each still on their parents' insurance, but then they had a baby. And we had a heck of a time getting coverage for that baby until the plans and the new rules got in place. I'm glad they fixed that little issue. Now, if your young adult is on their own for tax purposes, it may be less expensive for them to get their own policy than to remain on yours. This depends on their income level and how much of a tax credit they might qualify for. A household has job-based coverage. Sometimes you pay for the family no matter how many kids they have. So taking one off may not really help any. But if it's a one or two child household, really looking at these different options may be a way to save yourself some money and your household and your kids. I'm a mom myself. I really mom everybody, but I think it's important to take that young adult aside and explain the details of how the health insurance works to them so they understand what's going on. Or hey, you can just have them watch my videos. Education is important. That's why I've created Just the Facts Insurance Agency. It's just the facts you need to protect those you love.